they're like putty in your hands. Did you hear?
No, they're not, Joe. They're not like putty in our hands. This is America. How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage that has an extra bathroom and can't pay their bills? Raise their hand. How about we all... President Obama, are you listening?
How about we all stop paying our mortgage? It's a moral hazard.
Well, 233 years ago, the silent majority in Boston got fed up with taxation without representation and held a little tea party to prove the anger of we the people is on the march. It started the first American Revolution. Now it's time to start the second American Revolution. Take an envelope, put a tea bag inside. Simple. Seal it and send it to your non-representing representatives in Congress. They'll get the idea. We're mad as hell and we want our country back. Look in your mirror. There's your leader. Phone your talk radio host. Call for a tax protest. Set your internet communities on fire with the idea. But if you decide to do nothing again, then buy a gun. You'll need it. My name is Thomas Paine. Don't give up hope, America. Your country needs a new greatest generation. Answer the call. Get into the fight. It's a good time to be a patriot. The Second American Revolution has just begun.
For most Americans, Wednesday, April 15th will be tax day. But in our fourth story tonight, it's going to be teabagging day for the right wing, and they are going nuts for it. Thousands of them whipped out the festivities early this past weekend, and while the parties are officially toothless, the teabaggers are full-throated about their goals. They want to give President Obama strong tongue-lashing and lick government spending. Spending they did not oppose when they were under Presidents Bush and Reagan.
It is about freedom of speech. People all around the country today have been called insane, lunatics, extremists, all because they believe in the fundamental principles that our founding fathers understood. But we are not insane or extremists or anything like that. We're just Americans. Americans that actually, and I know this is hard to believe, we're Americans that actually believe in something, unlike those in the media and Washington.
And you see folks waving tea bags around. Let me just remind them that I am happy to have a serious conversation about how we are going to cut our health care costs down over the long term.
About AIG, outrageous. The insurance giant said it had no choice but to dole out multi-million-dollar bonuses despite getting billions of your taxpayer bailout dollars.
Our employees, despite getting $170 billion in government bailout money.
We're the first people to be angry, so absolutely Secretary Geithner has been furious.
Our assistance comes with appropriately tough conditions on compensation to senior executives. 1,100 pages, not one member of this body has read. Not one. It's going to, incent what we need to happen and make sure that taxpayer dollars are not going to benefit those senior executives in ways that don't make sense.
The New York Federal Reserve would not have been privy to any of this information, which, by the way, was circulating between the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the New York Fed. Well, the American people are not that stupid.
I can't point a finger at someone who's responsible for authoring the language. They put that in the We agreed to some modification at the time.
What happened to the promise that we're going to let the American people see what's in this bill for 48 hours? The bill?
History happened yesterday. The Fed announced that it is going to pump $1 trillion into the system by buying debt from our Treasury. There it is, $100 bill. Next, $10,000. What does that look like stacked up in $100 bills? There it is. Now $1 million stacked up in $100 bills. Now $100 million. $1 billion. This is going to get ugly. This is what $1 trillion looks like.
How big has the national debt become? So big it's threatening to outgrow the landmark national debt clock in New York City.
The truth, Prime Minister, is that you have run out of our money. The country as a whole is now in negative equity. Every British child is born owing around £20,000. Servicing the interest on that debt is going to cost more than educating the child.
Our economy is in crisis. People are suffering and our government says that bold action is required. So we're diving in head first to get things back on track. But what are we diving into exactly? It all started in September of 2008 with a $29.5 billion bailout of Bear Stearns. That was a lot. Even after you adjust for inflation, it's much more than other huge projects from our history like the Hoover Dam or the Panama Canal. But still, it wasn't enough. So we committed another $97.2 billion for Bank of America, $97.4 billion for auto companies, and $112 billion for AIG. That's almost as much as the $115 billion we spent to rebuild Europe after World War II. Add in another $139 billion for GE and $235 billion for Citigroup, and that's $710 billion to bail out banks and big corporations. But that's just the start. We're spending another $300 billion for homeowners who can't pay their mortgages, which is slightly less than the cost of World War I, but not as much as the $400 billion we're spending to prop up Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These numbers are simply huge. On their own, any one of these programs would have ranked among the largest in U.S. history, falling just behind record holders like the New Deal or the Iraq War. But add in the additional $700 billion we're spending to buy up bad loans through TARP and the $787 billion stimulus package. And in total, the government has already spent over $4 trillion on this crisis. That's 8 times more than the New Deal. And it even beats the previous all-time record holder, World War II. Unfortunately, that $4 trillion is only the beginning. The government is committed to spend up to an additional $7.8 trillion over the next few years, which will bring the grand total to over $12 trillion in new spending. This is a free fall. Adjusted for inflation, that's more than 3 times the size of World War II. It's 24 times the size of the New Deal. This is the largest spending program in U.S. history. By far. And it's drowning us in an ocean of debt. Reckless spending is what got us into this mess. Is more spending really the answer? Look before you leap. Visit StopSpendingOurFuture.org.